The world is a wondrous and confusing place. The advancement of science and history and expansion of our knowledge of the Earth gives us a more comprehensive view of our world than ever before. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at mysterious discoveries. Coast Guard launches mass rescue of 18 snowmobilers from ice slab that broke off Lake Erie. A brave group of people, including the US Coast Guard and a Good Samaritan, have saved 18 snowmobilers from a slab of ice that broke off Lake Erie. According to the Coast Guard, the group was rescued on ATVs and snowmobiles. It all started when a Coast Guard helicopter from the Detroit Air Station noticed a group of people stuck on ice off the coast of Catawba Island in Ohio. The group had been looking for a way back to land when the ice that they were standing on broke off from the rest of the ice on Lake Erie. Of the 18, 7 were rescued by helicopter, another 7 were rescued by a Good Samaritan on an airboat, and 4 were rescued by a Coast Guard airboat. The rescuers were up against the heavily iced lake when trying to make it to the snowmobilers. Luckily, all were rescued safely and none needed medical attention after being brought to shore. This story turned out positively, but that is not the case for many people who seek recreation in these icy areas. In a statement, Lieutenant Jeremiah Schiessel of the Coast Guard said, "There's no such thing as safe ice, but people can mitigate their risks. Always be sure to tell someone where you're going and when you expect to be back. Great Lakes ice is unpredictable and conditions can change fast." The Coast Guard has warned people to always take precautions when playing on the ice and to wear a life jacket and have a form of reliable communication. They have also recommended carrying an ice pick or screwdriver to break up ice in an emergency. The rescue occurred only one day after the National Weather Service issued a statement warning people to avoid the ice on Lake Erie, as the strong winds would increase the chances of ice breaking. It's an important reminder to think about the dangers there are on Earth. A never-before-seen type of signal has been detected in the human brain. Researchers have uncovered a previously unknown type of cell signaling that takes place in the human brain. This discovery is exciting because it shows that our brain may be a more powerful unit of measurement than we previously realized. Scientists from Greek and German labs disclosed a process in which all fresh gradual signs were formed independently in the brain's outer cortical cells earlier this year. Individual neurons may be able to conduct logical processes in new ways as a result of this. Neurologists can detect that distinct cell in the cortex are just normal sodium ions. They do this by evaluating the electrical pulse of pieces of tissue dissected during surgery in epilepsy patients and studying their form with a fluorescence microscope. Calcium-mediated dendritic stimulation, or CPAP, was triggered by this mix of positively charged ions, resulting in a wave of extraordinary voltage. Computers are frequently likened to the brain, particularly the human brain. The parallel has its limitations, yet at some levels the task is accomplished similarly. Both use the power of voltage to execute numerous activities. Computers are made out of a basic flow of electrons passing through crossings known as transistors. Waves enter and exit channels in neurons that share charged particles like sodium, chloride, and potassium. Our nervous system sends out impulses through dendrites. If the action potential is significant enough, it can be transmitted to neighboring neurons, which can either block or transmit the signal. Without a certainty, this is no more complicated than the human central nervous system's dense, wrinkled outer layer, the cortex of the brain. The deeper layers 2 and 3 are especially thick and densely packed with branches that execute higher-level sensory, cognitive, and motor control activities. The tissues of these layers were studied by linking cell lines to an instrument known as somatic dendrite patch clamp, which sent action potentials up and down each neuron while capturing signals. They double-checked the outcomes with a modest number of brain tumor specimens to be sure they were not exclusive to epilepsy patients. More interestingly, they discovered the signal even after administering a sodium channel inhibitor to the cell's tetrodotoxin. Only when the calcium was blocked did everything become silent. Finding calcium-mediated action potentials is intriguing enough. Assessing the behavior of this vulnerable new type of transmission in the cortex, however, yields an unexpected result. clock-like particles could help scientists understand the Big Bang. The Big Bang is just one theory on how our universe began, in the observable way that we know it to be today. Not everyone agrees with this theory. It is the leading precedent in scientific circles, though we still have plenty of questions about the theory itself. For example, if the Big Bang made the universe as it is today, was there anything at all before the Big Bang? The current theory is that shortly following the Bang, in the very early moments of the universe existing, the cosmos underwent inflation. This was a rapid expansion in which space grew faster than the speed of light. Cosmologists believe that the theory behind inflation makes a lot of sense and answers questions that would go unresolved without it. For example, it helps to explain why the universe is so even, why it mostly looks the same even in different directions. Some new research has come to light that has sparked conversations by critics. This data suggests that this theory needs initial conditions that are simply dubbed unlikely. Co-author of the study, Professor Avi Loeb, the chair of astronomy at Harvard University, explained that the most natural plausible models of inflation have been ruled out. She continues to explain that the theories that remain act as a catch-all and can fit any scenario. She describes them as flexible, not scientifically rigorous. In light of this, a new theory has been developed, addressing and amending the assumptions made by inflation. Inflation models only worked if the universe began as one point in matter and energy, a singularity. However, with the idea that there was nothing before the Big Bang, the idea of a singularity is not only improbable, but impossible. So, what new idea supposedly fixes these issues? Effectively a rebrand, the new suggestion is a big bounce, where the cosmos began from an earlier, already collapsed universe before our own began. Loeb says that this accounts for the structure and layout of the universe the same way inflation can, but does not have contradictions regarding a singularity. The next step is to test the different models and theories to try and draw a conclusion as to which seems to best fit. The research team seems to have narrowed this down to quite a specific hunt to confirm the idea of a universe before the one we are in now. The search is on for large particles, described to move in a regular pattern and rhythm. They have been likened to the pendulum on a grandfather clock. Ching-An Chen at Harvard University used a roll of film analogy, explaining that these particles will tell us how these frames should be played. If an earlier universe has collapsed, it is believed that these clock particles would emerge once again and could be detected in our current universe. Another researcher said that finding these would falsify the entire inflationary theory. It is no secret that scientists tackle the big questions, but is there really anything bigger than finding out how our universe began? But what do you make of these recent discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.